On the note of offensive defensemen, let's do Mount Rushmore of offensive D-men. So you can go ahead and pick first. Once someone's taken, they're absolutely off the board. But who's jumping out to you is just your A-list number one pick here.
This is a really hard one. I've thought about it for a little while. We were going to do it last week. I told you I need a little more time to think about it. I'll go with what I feel like is an obvious one first, and maybe he's not like stats-wise the best ever in terms of goals or points, but I'm taking Bobby Orr.
You really can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's probably the one that everyone, especially the guys over, 50, are going to be hoping for.
Yeah.
Bobby Orr, I mean, you can't really go wrong with him.
He's my dad's
Stanley
favorite
Cups?
player growing up too, so I'm a little biased because I was fed the Orr doctrine over and over and over again growing up. So great.
Usually, like having a statue is a pretty good sign. So I feel like with him, you really can't go wrong. I'm going to follow that up with another Bruins legend, Ray Bourque.
Yeah, so that's probably the obvious one. I think he leads all defensemen all time in goals and points, I believe.
Yeah, 410 goals, like well over 1,500 points.
Yeah.
Obviously got the cup in his last game ever. So
yeah, it's
the best cup lift of all time.
Yeah, it could be. It really could be, and that's coming from a guy who loves Alex Ovechkin. So
right.
All right, next one. See, we almost need to do like a separate one for like the era we grew up in, because none of those guys are going to quite make it. Like, they're
not going to be like that high up on like if you're going to go by like points or, your cups and stuff like that, like the old school guys were. But
totally. I will say honorable mention, got to go just to name one guy who is still currently in the league that's probably not going to get picked by either of us, but Brent Burns. I didn't realize how high up he is in like every major category. For like he's up there with like Orr and Chelios and some of those guys in the points conversation and all that. So very cool. My next pick, I'm probably going to go with Paul Coffey.
That's a great one. I had him on my list as well. I mean, 4 cups guy, I think was pretty close to 400 goals. So, I had, I think, like 3 or 4 sticks of his with his curve on them that I really, really liked those when I was younger. And I mean, talk about a guy that just played with nothing but greatness throughout his career between those Oilers teams and the Penguins teams, and then eventually the Red Wings too. Like, it's unbelievable.
He's also like the only one who's even close to Bourque in like goals, assists, points, all that stuff.
Yeah. Next pick for me, I'm going to have to go with Nicklas Lidstrom. I just absolutely love this guy's game. 264 goals, 1,142 points, and 4 Stanley Cups. So
he's also
just talk
someone
about like
that we got to watch growing up a little bit.
Yes,
so that hits home for us a little more.
Definitely.
Now it starts to get a little tricky. I'm gonna kind of go further down the list a little bit, not going the chalk pick of like who's next in points and all that, but I want a guy like Scott Stevens on my blue.
Well, that's a good one.
Former Caps legend too, might add.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That does count.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, he's unbelievable. All those Devils teams, I feel like every single defenseman they had could like also move the puck really well. There's another guy that might get picked here in a little bit, also named Scott, that wore a Devils uniform. But yeah, he's one of the best to ever do it. That's for sure. I think he's probably glad that like George Peros wasn't running DOPS back then, because I think it would have been a little bit different for Scotty Stevens.
100%.
My third pick, this is tough. I'm like looking over my list now. Give me Al MacInnis. How about that? 340 goals, 1,274 points, and 1 Stanley Cup with the Flames back in, I think it was 89. So, one of the hardest shots of all time too. Al MacInnis, don't ever forget that. And that was when those guys were using like 2-piece and wood sticks. So
that's right.
Yeah, I have to go with him. Couldn't leave him off.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Do I have 2 more? Or I've got 1 more, right?
This is it. Yeah, you're down to your last one. And then we'll give you an honorable mention because we can never decide.
This is so hard. I might go... Oh, you know what? I'm going to go Chelios.
That's a great pick.
I know that's a little further down the list too, maybe for some guys, and we're skipping out on some of the all-time greats. But again, I gotta pick a guy that I at least got to watch growing up a little bit. It means something more to me. So sorry for all the older listeners for skipping over some of the real greats that are born further before my time.
Yeah, this is tough. There's so many guys I feel like at this point you could go with. I think there's probably some people screaming for a current defenseman to be picked in this list, but I don't know if we're there just quite
Yeah.
yet. Last pick for me, I got to go with Scott Niedermayer. Only 172 goals only in the NHL, but 740 career points, 4 Stanley Cups. The guy's just a huge machine. He's unbelievable. I mean, we've all heard the stories about him coming off the ice with like one drop of sweat on his shirt and just seems like the nicest guy. He's so consistent. He's so smooth that as a defenseman. And I mean, the Ducks the Ducks and the Devils don't win those cups without him. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Who's your honorable mention?
Honorable mention, this one will probably piss people off too, just because I still haven't said Larry Murphy or Dennis Potvin or any of those guys, but I'm going to go with Sergei Gonchar.
Well, that's a great one.
That guy was so instrumental for me falling in love with hockey growing up, just, as a Capital and just the way he played the game. I love Gonch, so I'm throwing him in there as the HM.
That's a good one. I think my honorable mention is going to have to be Potvin just because of how good those Islander teams were. I mean, 4 cups, you really can't go wrong with that. And I think we might get stabbed if we don't throw him in there. So
very true.
I think part of the New York fan base that listens to this show would be unhappy about that.